Okay, so here we go. So let's start, yeah, Philippe?
Sure. So listen, thanks for all joining us this morning. My name is Philippe Brodeur. I am the CEO and co-founder of Overcast. Overcast is, well, it's not a bad name for a company that comes out of Ireland, I suppose, but it really is a combination of broadcast and over the top, which is a technical term for streaming companies like Netflix. So that's how we ended up with Overcast. We do specialist enterprise cloud video solutions. So, a lot of people are working with video in business these days, and they're really struggling. I'm going to show you a couple of, a little bit of theory about why that struggling is happening. My background is that I worked for BBC for many years in London, and then I moved to sorry, I'm just trying to move this. And then I moved to Dublin and helped start TV3 back in 1998. And then in 2006, TV3 was sold. And then with the new company came in, I developed TV3.ie, so the online version of that. And I've been working in the technology side of video and video management ever since. So I'm going to just move that out of my way. So what are we trying to do with Overcast? We're trying to make it as easy to manage video files as it is to manage Word documents. It's kind of a big idea. So, but if you think back a number of years, back to the 1990s, pre-Microsoft and pre-Microsoft Office, a lot of businesses would have had secretarial pools. No executives would have typed their own letters, and then the software that Microsoft brought out, that changed the way everybody manages their own documents. I suppose the personal computer was at the same time, but really the two go hand in hand. And what I'm focusing here on is the software. In 2015, Adobe did a very similar thing with images. Right? Adobe, well, you could say Apple as well, maybe, because now we can all manage our own images. Right? I don't know when the last time you went down to the pharmacy to get a picture actually developed. We still do it sometimes when we need them, when we need technical ones, right? We want a high quality one, or if we want an image for our passport, for example, we often have to go to the chemist to get them to do that. But for the most part, we all manage our own images, and we do in business as well. Video, though, why can't we manage our own videos? Most people, myself included, just sort of hold our hands up and say, well, it's really complex. I have difficulty downloading them. Sometimes I can't see them. I don't even know why I can't download YouTube videos that easily. Whereas everyone else seems to be able to do it, and we hear that everybody's doing it and everyone's making content. But for business, you have to combine two things. One is the consumer ability to make video, and the other one is to make it a little bit professional. So you don't just want to have a cheaply made video. It has to be on brand. It has to do all these different things, in which case we often defer and say, okay, let's let the editor do that. Let's let the creative group within the business do that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to democratize the process within the office so that more and more people can do that. And still we get a huge amount of residents. Oh, I don't want to join in that workflow. Like there's a creator economy, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more with Arnold. There's a creator economy coming through at the moment. Like literally millions of younger people than me, who are all on TikTok, and they're all making semi-professional videos. And that's starting to push into the business place. And that's why our business and where we're working is really accelerating. So just a little bit about us. These are some of the latest brands that we've worked with. So these are some of the brands we work with. They're big brands. A lot of them are international brands. A lot of them have multiple brands. Like, for example, Diageo would have over 200 brands. And think about that. Those 200 brands all have agencies and they're all making content, but they're not just making marketing content. They're making brand content. They're making content about their business. They're making, if you're in HR, you're doing videos of people, video interviews. If you're in real estate, you're filming all the properties. How are you managing all that content? Very often it's still, oh, let's let that studio person do it. But if you could do it for less and actually create more, well, that would be a huge change for an awful lot of businesses. So this is essentially what we look like. We call ourselves a MAM. So it's a media asset management platform. So we're built in the cloud on AWS, which you can see is our base there. So we're built on top of Amazon Web Services. We do media asset management. We do remote editing. So we're integrated directly into Adobe's Premiere Pro. And we also have some very simple clipping tools for everybody. And we have a public API. So I'm not going to get into the technical bit of it here, but essentially businesses have tech stacks. And when you have a tech stack, you might use Microsoft Office, you might use Twitter, you might use social media stuff. You might use Salesforce for sales. You're going to have a lot of technology SaaS products that you're using. So our API allows us to integrate with all those solutions, so that rather than it being difficult from going, okay, I've got a file here, I've got a video file here, how do I get it over there? It's integrated, it's seamless. We make those connections to make it easier to move content around, just like Word documents. Very easy to put a Word document into Salesforce or onto Twitter. I can copy and paste. How do I put a video onto Twitter? A little bit more complicated. It's just a little video of really kind of some of the frustration. It's one of our promos. So I don't know if anyone else has felt like that, but I feel like that all the time. And making video, and I actually made that promo, and I made it in about 10 minutes.
Might be over exaggerating.
What's that?
Might be a little bit over exaggerated.
Maybe a little bit, but
the baseball bat.
But you know yourself, sometimes you're just looking at your laptop or your computer and you're just frustrated and you're thinking, why can't I view this? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? So look, enterprise video management or business video management is all about stakeholder management. So the first thing is we're making content in all departments. So rather than just letting a studio do it, let's let everybody do it. So democratize workflows. Currently, most video content in a large business is unindexed. It might not even be stored in at your business premise. You might have an agency or work with a post house. So an unindexed, unretrievable library is actually not an asset. So we make it all searchable. Wow. So searching. Think about searching for video on Google. If you plug in the Godfather the movie, the one thing that you will not find is Godfather the movie. But you'll find a million different other answers. You'll find promos, you'll find articles written about it, but you won't find what you're actually looking for. Why can't you actually find the video? I mean, that to me is a really poor experience, but it shows the gap between where video is and where everything else is. And the other thing that is really core to what we're doing is being able to search is one thing, but being able to share content is really collaboration is really important in our business, in our business lives. And in fact, we're on a Zoom call now, which is a collaboration platform itself, right? We use email all day long, a collaboration platform. So what we're trying to do with Overcast is make it incredibly collaborative so you can easily move content around, share it with different people, etc. This is one of our clients' actual library of content. This is what it looked like when they asked us if we could help them to manage it. So on the left-hand side here, you know, they're numbered mag D23, 25, 24. When you look at this, you have no idea what's what, right? Absolutely no idea. On the right-hand side here, those are really big files. This one here is 52 gigabytes. To try and download files that big, Google Drive. So the fellow that we were talking to about this, he had been downloading this for 24 hours and he still didn't have them downloaded. When he finally had them all downloaded onto his computer, he couldn't see them because on the left-hand side here, you see the name of the file is a magf24.cine. So the dot bit on the end, .cine, or it could be .mov or something else, but .cine is a specific format that no normal computer would have a codec to be able to view it. So once, again, very bad user experience. You can store it in Google Drive for very inexpensive. Doesn't cost a lot of money, but if it takes 24 hours to download it and then you can't actually see it, then you have to call somebody, you have to put it on a memory stick. How much is that? How much time are you wasting there, right? How can you actually change that? So Overcast, this is what our UI looks like. You'll see for each video, we create a thumbnail so you can instantly see what it is. Each one of those plays because we have every codec imaginable in the back end. So any content that's ingested into Overcast, we create a second version, which is an internet version. It's called a proxy. It's like a YouTube video essentially. And so we store the original, and then you see the YouTube video, the YouTube version. Because if you take content straight out of a camera, you can't play that on the internet. It doesn't work. It needs to be transcoded into a version that can play on the internet. It's exactly the same as the difference between, say, Netflix, who stream, and broadcasters who broadcast. Two different formats, completely. This is sort of an idea I wanted to show you, again, to give you an idea of the market, like who do we compete against? So the top left here are the company names that we really compete against. Companies like Box and IBM that you'd be familiar with. But Box isn't made for video. So we take a lot of clients from Box. Down here, interestingly, is where most businesses actually store their content. Vimeo, Google Drive, Dropbox, even YouTube. And that's where we get most of our clients from. The reason is these are not secure sites. They're not generally built for video. Vimeo is built for video, but Vimeo is built for video streaming, not for video managing. So you don't, during production, put content into Vimeo. Only when you've got a finished video do you put it into Vimeo to stream. And then there's some other things around Vimeo where their search is not great, et cetera, et cetera. But suffice to say, it's the prosumer market, right? The content creators who are mostly that creator economy, they're storing their content down here, but it doesn't really work for business because it's not secure and it doesn't have business in mind. So this was just a quote that came out a month ago from one of the major consultancies. 8 out of 10 businesses would create more video content if technology made it possible to more easily create video content without requiring prior expertise. Pretty simple. And I could have said that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So this is really, this is from you gotta love some things that are American, which are just amazing. So they have a thing in the States called the Stackies. And the Stackies, they go out and they talk to companies and ask them to visualize all the different solutions that they're using to manage content, not just video, but all their content. So you'll see down here in the sort of bottom middle, you'll see Adobe Creative Intelligent Content, right? Adobe Creative Cloud, Alfresco, Box, BrightEdge, Cisco Spark, Percolate, and Workfront. These are like digital asset management companies, and lots of them. They're using a lot of different SaaS solutions to manage their content. Not one of those is specialist in video. Here, you'll see that they use Brightcove. Brightcove is a specialist streaming solution, but it doesn't do management. So they're struggling, even Cisco are struggling on the same level as many, many other businesses that we're talking to at the moment. And you'll see that, they use Salesforce here for managing their sales stuff. Adobe Experience Manager, similar, DoubleClick from Google for their Google AdWords. They're Sprinkler for social media. Any company, large business now, is using anywhere between 10 and 50 different software solutions. And we're going in now and talking to them and saying, okay, this is the space that we live in, right? We'll help you manage that content for you. And just to reiterate how Amazon Web Services views the complexity of video. On the left-hand side here, you can buy content, you can archive the content, you can manage the content during the creation period, and then where does the content go to? The digital supply chain. And then on the right-hand side here, different ways of pushing the content out. And in the middle, all the different things you have to do. You have to edit it, you have to change the format, you have to put it into archive, you have to allow for search. So there's so many things that you have to do with video. And that to me is just, it's so complex. How does anybody get their head around being able to manage it? And that's really the problem we're trying to solve. So if I take you into my demo here, I'll show you what Overcast looks like. So if I were to show up on this page, you'll see that all my videos exist in here. I've got a bunch of projects on the left. I can manage user access and things up here. I can search for things. I can actually search for words in the subtitles. So we're using AI to generate a transcript of all the words in the video, and that all becomes searchable. So you're not just searching for the title. What a big difference that makes. Image recognition. So we're running another AI service over top of during the ingest of the content to be able to find a park, a bike, a sailboat. So all of a sudden now, if you're trying to remember that piece of content that was made last year, but remember there was a boat in it, I can just put boat in there and I can find that. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. And then we do things like up here in my avatar, you'll see I have access to a number of different accounts here. This works just like Google Docs. So if you've got, or Google Drive, so if you have an account, you can invite me into your account. And if I have an account, I can invite you into my account. and I can just show you a fixed number of things, right? So it becomes that collaborative platform that I was talking about earlier. In order to get content into the system, click Upload Files. I can choose where I want to send it to. I'm going to send it to Hilton. I'm going to select a file. Just click that, promo, open. Okay, upload files. You'll see the progress. So we're doing some special stuff in the background when we're ingesting content to make it go much faster. Once it's up there, I can go into Hilton and I can see the content being ingested. So while it's being ingested, we're processing it. We're doing virus scans. We're changing the format so that it can be viewed. And then we're making it available to be shared or whatever it is that you want to do with your content. We don't just work with video, so I'll show you videos in a second, but I want to show you some of the things we do with other content. So images, marketing departments, all of business are working with images. Who hasn't had that problem when you're trying to fill in a form online and they ask you for an image, but it can't be more than 100 megabytes or 20 megabytes, and it has to be this dimension, and you're demented trying to think about it. Well, we template the changing of the format. So I have a finished, approved image. And now let's say, so previously, if I needed to get a Facebook link or something like that, I'd go back to my graphic designer and say, can you do me a Facebook link? But now I can go, okay, there's the dimensions of the Facebook link. Okay, so I can create my own Facebook link version. Just download or save a copy. Hang on, I need a Twitter post. That's different. I need a Twitter header. That's different. I need a Facebook cover. So all of these formats that you need for social, and not just social, but for your own website, for other people's websites, for government documents that you're filling in, they always require different sizes and formats. And it's frustrating not being able to manage that ourselves. We go online looking for free solutions to do that. And then never really, you might be able to figure it out eventually. But if you're in business, you need to be putting content onto social all the time. You need to be sharing content internally, externally. And it can be really difficult to do that unless you have a tool. Or you go back to that studio. And what I said at the beginning is we're trying to take that workflow, which always goes back to the studio, to can you guys fix this for us? To actually doing it for ourselves. And with it, and don't get me wrong, it has to be intuitive. It has to be really easy, or we'll get pushback and people just won't engage. So if I want to share a video now, so how would you normally share a video? Well, what you might do is you might use WeTransfer or put it in Dropbox, or you might attach it by an email. And then once that video gets to somebody, what happens to it then? So if this content is secure content, or if it's valuable content, like an ad, hasn't been finished, or let's say, like we work with the police, they have a lot of CCTV. Let's say they're sharing evidence. How do they do that? They do it all on memory stick today. But we're moving them to a cloud-based solution so they can actually do it simply by sharing a link. So if I were to go into, say, this video, and I wanted to share it with somebody, I'd simply click on the share button. I can choose who I want to send it to. We're creating a template in the background, which is an email. That email's got a secure link on it, and then you send it to somebody. So you're actually not sending the content anywhere. You're just sending links around. And that keeps it secure. it keeps it from having to move a big file over the internet, which is difficult and takes time. So we're getting around those, you know, a lot of those challenges. Okay, so now I've got my video and I want to be able to put it onto YouTube, but most videos that go onto YouTube are actually in the wrong format. Same with the ones that play on your website. And what does that do? Well, it just means that they're not optimized. They don't look, a lot of them just don't look great. So here I can make a different version. Click there to format it, and then I can share it. Let's say I want to make it a little bit shorter than it is.
Do you find making and managing video?
Okay, I want to actually start there, and I want to end there. So if I want to start here, I set that as my start. Oh, actually, I want to move it a few frames. Yeah, there you go. Move it a few frames to there. That's where I wanted to start. And there. And I want to move that, set end. I want to move that a few frames back. Then I can cut my clip. Now, anybody can do that. But, and I'm not an editor, and I'm not an overly technical person. So we built this for people, you know, like me, who just every once in a while, I need to create a clip of something because I need to then put that onto Twitter, or I need to share it with a friend, or whatever it is that I need to do with it. And again, we're talking about professional content here. And just to show you as well, you know, I mentioned that we're making subtitles.
Learning of artificial intelligence.
So you can see here the subtitles on the right-hand side, they match over here, all generated with nobody having to type anything in. You can edit them. And it's all time-coded. Very easy to move around the content. And then I can search for it. So if I see artificial here, artificial intelligence. So if I go back into my home space and I put in, okay, I'm going to search in the subtitles. I'm going to search for artificial. There's my video there. So being able to search within the video now becomes a massive, massive opportunity to not just anymore just store your content and have it indexed, but now you can actually find it too. And it's actually changing the way people work with content in the business world. So I just wanted to, so I don't want to go on any longer. I'm delighted that you guys have been, you know, have been listening this long. It's you know, it's a big thing that we're trying to do, change the way people manage content, video content especially. But we have the backing of Amazon Web Services. They're backing us on our plans here, and yeah, and that's what we're doing. And now we're doing it from the Algarve.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, exactly. So if we now, if we will open for questions. So if you want to put your video and your sound on, we'll take some questions. But I have already some practical, very practical questions. You know, you just mentioned here the editing. We filmed our Porto conference at the end of April, and the video was about 2 hours. And I wanted to have, so we had very specific speakers, and I wanted to cut it in short videos of each guest speaker. And actually, I had to go through a video editor who did it, and it took a week. He was back and forward because I didn't want him to cut it there. I wanted, you know, yeah. So it took me. He was so annoying and frustrating. You know, it was taking ages for a simple job. What I thought was a simple job. So what you showed now, right now, is that something that I could do on your platform? I think it is.
Yeah. So you can actually I don't know how you filmed it, but you could actually ingest the content live at the event, so that that 2-hour version is no longer on your computer or on a disk. It's actually stored in the cloud. You then want to go and make clips of each one of those interviews. You just set an in point and out point, and then you have your clip. So we were working, so we do live streaming as well, and we do live event streaming. So some of our clients, what they've been doing is they do their interviews. They actually do their interviews on Zoom very often.
Mhm.
They generate 10 or 15 interviews.
Right.
They'll then import them into the live event module that we have, put them like a playlist, right? So they do their cuts, they import them, live playlist, and then they start their event the next morning at 9 a.m. So they do all the interviews over the previous 2 weeks.
All right. Mhm.
And these people who've been making these live events, it started during COVID, and they're quite literally not technical at all.
Mhm.
And we developed it with and for them. So make it easy for literally anybody who can, go onto essentially onto YouTube and view a video. We want to make it as easy as that to be able to, generate a clip and then create a playlist and then stream it out to people.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I've made a few videos, and my experience was I was using Adobe, and then I had to upload it to get the subtitles done. And sometimes my experience with the subtitles was, obviously you can't with the platform I was using, you couldn't change it, and because they don't always get the subtitles correct.
Correct.
So what you're saying is, if I was to, like, as a solopreneur, if I was to record my video in Adobe or whatever I'm using, or a Zoom or whatever, and then I can upload it to Overcast, and there I can add in the subtitles, or get the system to produce the subtitles. And then if there's something that is not correct, I can actually go back and to that particular clip and edit it.
Correct.
That's really, really,
You can edit it right on that where I showed you the subtitles, where there's a little edit button. Press the edit button, and then literally press on the word that you want to change. And most AI that's doing subtitles won't get names right. They won't get a lot of different accents. They'll struggle with different accents. They're about somewhere between 90 and 95% generally. And yeah, so for us, most of our clients don't need it to be 100%. It's just for storage. But if you want to make changes, you can make all those changes there.
You can make them. So is this for people like, solopreneurs, for smaller businesses, or is it more, are your clients more the larger companies, or is this for everybody?
They're more the larger clients. So we work with the smallest teams that we work with are probably 10. It's we start at $500 a month for those types of teams. It really is for it's for larger businesses. We don't have a consumer version of it, simply because or a prosumer version of it, simply because selling into prosumer is a completely different sales process, as you well know, than selling into selling in B2B. So if we could build that platform for the consumer as well, I'd love to do that. It's just not where we started off, and it's a bit more risky as well for a startup like us. Well, we're not a startup anymore. We're more early stage company, I suppose.
So you've just broken my heart, Philip. You dangled me utopia.
I know, but it's much better to get it.
You need to make a
fast
video
no than a long.
So we'll have to get all the solopreneurs in IPBN together in order to benefit from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did mention Adobe though, so we have an integration, a really close integration with Adobe. So in Adobe Premiere Pro, the editing solution, editors can actually access the cloud storage and all the content directly, right? So they never have to leave their Adobe Premiere Pro interface.
Okay.
Yeah, so we released that earlier this year, and it's massively popular. Adobe is taking over the world in editing. I mean, they're streets ahead of everyone else at the moment.
So, Philippe, so your platform is a video management platform, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So, if I upload, let's say I have 150 videos, and I upload them on Overcast.
Mm-hmm.
If I want people to see it, I still need those videos on YouTube, isn't it? Because
that depends. So if you want to embed a video on your website, for example, very simple to get an embed code off of a video, right? You can embed and stream that content on your website. If you want to share a link with other people, you can share a link with other people so they can still view the content. What other people can't do is they can't come to your account and then just look through your account at all your videos. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I'm really sorry, but I have to go because I have another meeting.
Okay.
Fantastic. And we'll see you around.
Thanks, Sharon. Yes, hopefully.
Bye. Take care.
Cheers.
Thank you, Sharon. I don't know if anybody else has a question. No, maybe not. Yeah, so at the very beginning you mentioned, so I actually saw on your website you published a blog entitled "The Rise of the Creator Economy," and you know, in that blog you were talking about the conversions between podcast and videos, which we probably all do. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So
this new trend.
Yeah. So look, you know, podcasts become incredibly popular recently, and you know, people are listening to podcasts all over the place when they're driving the car, when they're going doing a workout, going for a run in the gym, whatever. You know, it doesn't always suit to watch a video.
Yeah.
But that said, with this, you can create a video if indeed you want to create a video, and then you can rip the audio out of it, and there you have your podcast. Mm-hmm. So you know, we worked with a number of publishers like the Irish Times, for example, and they were going through this process of creating more video content. Now they create a lot of podcasts, specifically just podcasts, but they were creating a lot of video content, and they thought, well, it would be a bit of a waste if we only offered it on video. Let's offer it on audio as well, and also let's do the transcription and offer it as a written piece. Yeah. So you know, different people will engage with content in different ways, and I think the magic is, can you take one piece of content and make it into 4 or 5 or 10? Certainly, you look at the likes of someone like Disney, and you think they talk about bringing out a movie, right? Well, that movie actually has over 400 versions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Different endings. It's got different stuff in different regions, different languages. And when you add all those things together, it's like, okay, well, how do we manage those 400 different versions? Not even talking about the advertising, the promos, the social media that goes along with it as well. So one movie actually becomes literally tens of thousands of videos, right? And that's where the management of the content becomes difficult. So it's not unlike just normal documents in a business. That's why large businesses have digital asset management platforms, right? It's to manage all those different documents and being able to put all that data so it's all searchable, by different people in different departments.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. So yeah, I think we'll end it here. I will stop the recording.